Let's talk about Bad Batch Episode 10, right here on the High Ground. So with this latest episode of the Bad Batch Common Ground, nothing crazy happened. Now, it's not filler. It just took plot points and things that we already knew, expanded upon them, helped build out the universe, and develop our characters, but it didn't introduce any new plot points, and it didn't blow the doors off with any action or anything like that. But there were some amazing parts. Let's jump into it. Now, I love that this takes us right back to Raxus, which was the seat of power for the Separatist government. Remember being here where Mina Bonteri was, where we met Mina and Lux, and we got to see how that whole thing played out. So it's nice to come back here and see how the seat of what was the enemy now looks like under the occupation of the Empire. Basically, the Empire took over. Senator Avi Singh was the only one that wasn't in prison, who was going to play ball with him, but in the end decided he had to stand up for his people and actually fight for them, which leads to him being immediately arrested. Fortunately, he somehow knows how to contact Sid and get the Bad Batch over to rescue. I did like how this episode did separate Omega from the rest of the Bad Batch, because we really got to see how they had grown on their own and how they can stand on their own 2 feet. It was also really cool to see that Hunter was still referring to Omega as if she was part of the group, even though he was the one that insisted that she be left behind. And I really think this goes back to what we just saw in the previous mission. You know, he wants to protect her, but he really does view her as part of the group. I think it's more about his own insecurity because of his inability to protect her from when Cad Bane took her in the first place. Now, this episode did bring up a huge question. How the hell do you play Dejarik? It makes no sense. Like, if you just push certain buttons, you just win, and you just have to know which buttons to push. I don't get it. Someone needs to explain this game to me and how it works. I need to figure that out. Let me know in the comments if you guys know. But yeah, in this episode, Omega continues to show her skill. I think that basically all of the clones are nerfed versions of Jango Fett, but the Bad Batch are ones where you min-max them for specific roles, right? So this one has extreme strength, extreme intelligence when it comes to technology, one tracking skills, and Omega, this is like us getting to spend time with Boba, because being unaltered, she actually is superior to all regular clones in all of these aspects, even though she is not quite as extreme as the others. But I really like seeing that she is a natural strategist, and that's why she was able to win. It's not because of previous experience playing it, it's because she is just better at out strategizing her opponents. Overall, there's a lot to love about this episode. We got to see some ATTEs in action. A little tank on tank battle is always cool. We got to see the Bad Batch doing a stealth mission that was highly successful, so we get to see what elite agents they truly are and how good they are as a team, and infiltration and all that good stuff. We got to see one of those torture droids that we end up seeing in A New Hope, and we get to spend a lot of time with them if you've read Alphabet Squadron, and there's just quite a few callbacks. We get to see the reticence of them to work with someone that was part of the Separatists, because that was the enemy this entire time. It was because of the actions of these Separatists that they've had to bury so many of their brothers. But now these alliances are changed. The lines are being redrawn, and we get to see that, particularly at the end when the Senator doesn't want to leave. He feels like he's abandoning his people, and it's Echo that tells him to live to fight another day. And that's exactly what Hardcase had told him over Umbara. It was really interesting to see. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next week. Again, this episode didn't blow my socks off, right? That's why there's no reaction. There wasn't anything major to react to, but it moved along all of the characters. It developed a relationship between the Bad Batch and Omega. It developed Hunter. It got to show us what the galaxy looks like under the rule of the Empire, and how people are already starting to be stressed by that takeover. We get to see a lot of things that move forward. Nothing new introduced, nothing big that happened, but I'm looking forward to the next one.